was a reason you wanted that, right?
Yep.
In that example, there was a reason you wanted the car. There was a reason you wanted to quit smoking.
Absolutely.
There was a reason you wanted a better life.
Yep.
And you thought this was the way to do it through these goals.
Yep.
So don't quit on yourself and always believe in yourself.
Welcome back to the channel. My name is Max.
And this is Ray.
And this is Drunk Words, Drunk Thoughts. We have drinks for you. We have advice. We have rants. Sometimes some stories.
Sometimes.
Anyway, Cuba's. Anyway, we're coming with an advice video today, and it's basically our 5 ways to stay motivated.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Okay. So we'll start off with the first one. Right. What do we got?
So the big thing is that you're going to want to make sure that you're setting smaller goals for yourself instead of big ones.
Okay.
So you could have a plan, let's say, to have $5,000 in the bank.
Yep.
But it's got to start somewhere, right?
Yep.
You can't keep looking at your bank account and be like, man, I don't have $5,000. Man, I don't have $5,000.
It's that minus 41.
Yeah, minus 41. Oh, man, I'm in
Yeah.
overdraft protection or something like that.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere. You got to be like, okay, cool. I'm going to start by opening a savings account because this doesn't cost me any money. Then the other small goal after you've done that, okay, I want to have my first $100 in that account. Then I want to have $250 going into that account every pay.
Yep.
All right. In the first month, I want to be able to have $600 in that account.
Yep.
Right. So then you get there, and you get there slowly and slowly and slowly. Oh, I don't want to touch this no matter what. You know, I don't want to have to do anything or have it come up for emergencies. I want to save some on the side so I can leave that money aside.
Absolutely.
So it's these small goals, and eventually you're gonna get to that $5,000. You're gonna get to 10 grand. You're gonna get to 20. You're gonna buy a house, car, straight cash, whatever you need.
Exactly.
But the thing is, you get there one step at a time.
Exactly.
What's the second one?
The second one is you want to have some sort of a plan, an agenda, a planner. Basically, you want it in writing because, like,
Hold yourself accountable, right?
exactly, just, like, make sure that you are accountable. One, and then second, two, it makes it real. Because at first, it's a thought process. You're like, I want to get to this point, but like, that's just thoughts. So the first way to make it real is to have it on paper, somewhere you can like look at it and then you can focus on it. Because basically it's gonna turn into not only discipline, but staying motivated because you like and then we're gonna talk about this later, when you start like maybe, I don't know, maybe the goal isn't the greatest or you know, you're lacking discipline, you can always look back and say that's the goal, and that's where like you get to like experience the journey and actually enjoy it, even though sometimes it might get hard.
Segueing perfectly, the third point is it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
And I know that's super vague in the sense that it's a term that a lot of people use, but I feel very few understand.
Yeah.
The journey is what you're doing along the road, right? You could be having, let's go back to that goal of $5,000, right?
Yep.
You've made your car payment, you made everything, and you're comfortable with that $250. But all of a sudden, you go to the dentist for a routine cleaning, and they say, man, gotta pull your wisdom teeth.
Yep.
So $1,200 later, now you're stressing because you're like, man, I want to be able to save. I also don't want to have to touch this money. And the journey is that you have to make a hard decision. The hard decision is, are you going to sacrifice something, or are you going to just simply not save? Are you going to have to use the savings that you already put aside?
Correct.
Or what?
Yeah.
Best advice I can give you in that, to navigate that, is don't make those savings payments for that 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever that you need.
Absolutely.
So that you don't have to go and dip into your full savings to cover yourself off.
Yeah.
Right? That way you're not going as negative as you could have been, right? You're not actually touching the principal. You're just touching the investment that's going into the principal. Yeah. A little bit of financial lingo for you, but and the journey is just that, like, you can't beat yourself up for missing that one contribution that you would have had for that pay.
Yep.
And you can't beat yourself up if, you know, you absolutely needed to touch that and you ended up touching it. Just make sure that you're staying on the plan and refer back to your roadmap, refer back to your agenda,
Absolutely.
the promise you made yourself in writing, and stay focused on those goals.
Absolutely. It's a good point. It's a good point. And then just to segue right into that too, is based on that, like, avoid to work like too hard. Because on that example, it would be someone being like, man, I can't touch my savings. I said I wasn't going to touch it. But at the end of the day, they're savings. They're there for a reason. As long as you don't take the habit of doing that, right? And then you put yourself into position to where you won't have to do that again, right? And it's like, even if you say, okay, you know what, I want to like work overtime, or like I had a time in my life where I was working 3 jobs. Okay, but like you can't keep doing that.
Yeah, you're going to burn yourself out, which is what we're trying to avoid.
And you have to avoid that because like, obviously, that's not a good journey to have. And ultimately, it will lead you to failure. And it will lead to the next point, which is?
Yeah, perfect. So segueing into the 5th point, which I feel like we touched on, but I want to emphasize the difference though.
Yeah.
Is there's going to be setbacks. And like I said, in this example, like, you know, you had to go to the dentist and everything like that. There's other examples where you might lose your job. Obviously, different levels of setbacks, right? So one is, wow, it's going to affect me for a pay or two. The other is, wow, when is my next pay?
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And you want to avoid setbacks, but understand that they're going to happen. Like, you want to plan for them. It's like if you have a 2-year goal, you know, give yourself 3 years. Make 2 years be your stretch goal.
That's a big one.
Right?
Yeah.
But plan to do it in 3, right? Man, it'd be awesome if I could do this ahead of schedule, and I'm planning to do it ahead of schedule. But if something happens, I'm comfortable doing it in a 3-year time frame, right?
Great.
Setting your goal, your actual goal, and then setting a stretch goal, which is a little bit more ambitious. Yeah. It keeps you on target. It keeps you focused. You know in the back of your mind, hey, absolutely, if I need to go to the 3 years, I can. But it's not the plan. The plan is to get it in 2.
I like it.
Right? Yeah. For me, with finances, it's always going to work like that too. I always say if you're planning to buy something in a year, like a car or something like that, plan to buy it in 2. And, you know, obviously if you're trying to stretch $100, you can only stretch it so far.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? So just understand that these setbacks are going to happen. Your car is going to break down. You know, the weather's not going to cooperate, so you might lose a day of work. You know, if you do work outside, you know, understand that you might need to get your teeth fixed, or something might happen to a family member. Tragically, you got to spend money that you had saved to go out on a flight, to go to a funeral in a different province, different country, right? That's unavoidable. Yeah. A setback isn't, man, I really want to go on vacation. I really want to go to Cuba. Let me override all my plans and just go to Cuba. If Cuba's the goal, awesome. But if not, like, you're causing a setback.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To continue to emphasize with the setbacks, the biggest thing is setbacks are understandable and they're okay, but quitting is not okay.
Hey.
Quitting on yourself, quitting on these goals that you've set for yourself, not okay at all. Saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to look like Saquon Barkley one day in the GQ spread, but then not wanting to put in the work because you're like, I worked out 2 days and my body's tired from work and from working out. I can't do it. It's not going to happen. And you just gave up on yourself. There was a reason you wanted that, right? Yep. In that example, there was a reason you wanted the car. There was a reason you wanted to quit smoking.
Absolutely.
There was a reason you wanted a better life.
Yep.
And you thought this was the way to do it through these goals.
Yep.
So don't quit on yourself and always believe in yourself.
That's there's nothing to add. This is a great point. It's a great point.
Perfect. Well, I'm happy we were able to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Again, great advice, Max.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Great advice. Great advice. So we're going to call it here. So my name is Max.
And I'm Ray.
This was Drunk Words, Drunk Thoughts. We're on our way to 100 subscribers. So please like, comment, and share. And what do you do to the bell?
We hit the bell.
Let's go.
Let's go.